morning. This is Jamal Hassan from the Voice Studio in Washington, D.C., USA. Welcome to my show. The voice is your voice. Today, I'm going to introduce Mr. Amit Roy from Florida. Mr. Roy received Master in Science in Statistics from the University of Dhaka. He also obtained MBA from Florida Atlantic University. He's a successful businessman, now a retiree living in the sunshine state of Florida. Amit Roy is a thinker and a poet who used to be cultural correspondent of Dhaka's weekly holiday. Incidentally, Amit Roy was my course mate in my alma mater, Notre Dame College in Dhaka, as well as in Dhaka University. Welcome to my show, Amit Roy.
Thank you, Jamal, for giving me the voice today, which I've been longing for a long time. And I should be able to recapture my memory today of what happened about 55 years ago.
Those are the days of blood and thunder. And we know both of us originate from the country named Bangladesh. Bangladesh was born out of ashes. Millions of people were killed, women were raped. The leader, the unchallenged leader, was Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Bangabandhu was the leader of 75 million people of the Bengalis of the then Pakistan, undivided Pakistan. Bangabandhu's thunderous voice united millions. We go back to 1971, 7th March in Dhaka.
দুঃখ ভারাক্রান্ত মন নিয়ে আপনাদের সামনে হাজির হয়েছি। আপনারা সবই জানেন এবং বোঝেন আমরা আমাদের জীবন দিয়ে চেষ্টা করেছি, কিন্তু দুঃখের বিষয় আজ ঢাকা, চট্টগ্রাম, খুলনা, রাজশাহী, রংপুরে আমার ভাইয়ের রক্তে রাজপথ রঞ্জিত হয়েছে। আজ বাংলার মানুষ মুক্তি চায়, বাংলার মানুষ বাঁচতে চায়, বাংলার মানুষ তারা আজ তার অধিকার চায়। কিন্তু দুঃখের বিষয় আজ দুঃখের সঙ্গে বলতে হয় 23 বছরের করুণ ইতিহাস, বাংলার অত্যাচারের, বাংলার মানুষের রক্তের ইতিহাস, 23 বছরের ইতিহাস, মুমূর্ষ নরনারীর আর্তনাদের ইতিহাস, বাংলার ইতিহাস, এদেশের মানুষের রক্ত দিয়ে রাজপথ রঞ্জিত করার ইতিহাস। 1952 সালে রক্ত দিয়েছি, 1954 সালে নির্বাচনে জয়লাভ করেও আমরা গদিতে বসতে পারি নাই। 1958 সালে আইয়ুব খান মার্শাল ল জারি করে 10 বছর পর্যন্ত আমাদের গোলাম করে রেখেছে।
Those were the days of blood and thunder. Bangabandhu gave that historical speech on 7th of March. On 25th of March, it was evident that Pakistani army junta, led by General Yahya Khan and People's Party leader Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, colluded and wanted a massacre on the Bengali nation. 25th March, late night, Dhaka University became a place of massacre. Some of my teacher, even my Amit, you remember our departmental head, Muniruzzaman, Dr. Muniruzzaman was killed on the night of March 25th. Amit, going back to those days, in the month of March, were you living in Dhaka?
Yeah, I was in Dhaka. I was in the Tikatuli area. We were living at that time, and I remember it's only 11 or midnight. About that time, we were about to go to bed, and all of a sudden we kept hearing, the gun firing, heavy gun firing, continuous gun firing. Uh, my dad indicated that it's probably coming from the university area. He is a very, very well-read, well-knowledgeable man, and he read the history, so he could point out where it will begin. And interestingly, that's what we found out later on, that it began in Dhaka University area. And so we were all night long, we were all awake with mortars and all shelling, even, no, I mean, heavy gunfire. We didn't know what kind of instrument they were using, but heavy gunfire. So, and it continued all night long. And we felt certain of what's happening and where it's happening. But my dad's guess was pretty much right. We found out the next day. And the next morning, we were awake all night. And next morning, we really,
Next morning means 26th of March.
26th morning, at the Drebek, there was quietness. No more guns firing we heard. And then my mom began to prepare for, breakfast. The normal, at the same time, quiet. So around maybe 8 a.m. or so, my mother found out we don't have enough bread for everybody for breakfast. So my dad said, would you try to go to the neighborhood bakery, which is on, Hatkola Road, on the main street there, which was owned by Bihari. So anyways, and everything became quiet, and we thought the atrocities or whatever last night, this was concentrated in the university area. So general public will probably be not affected. So my dad gave me a few bucks to go to the shop, and it's just a quarter-mile walk from the house. So I put on a shirt on my lungi, which I was wearing, and I was very cautious though. Something was telling me to be very careful. For some reason, it's instinct, I believe. So as I walked out of that apartment building, and I looked around I think the name of the road was Avoidas Lane. So I looked left and right, I see no people. But when I looked down the street on the intersection of Hatkola and Avoidas Lane, I saw people movement there. And that's where the bakery was. So I went to the bakery, I was slowly walking, hardly one or two people, and I looked at the bakery with my back toward the Hatkola Road, and I saw bakery is closed. So I was thinking what to do. At that moment, whether should I go to, there is another nearby store from a Bangladeshi guy, which is a little bit farther on the Hatkola Road. Whether should I go there or go back home? All of a sudden, I hear a noise of a truck approaching behind me. So I turned and looked. I couldn't hear for a couple of minutes where it's coming from. Then there was a hotel was under construction right across the street. Then
You are talking about the Elysium Hotel.
Elysium, yeah. It was
Yeah.
under construction at the time. So left to that, as far as I remember, left to that there is a way to Old Dhaka. I think to not in that area. So it goes that way. So then I saw a truck full of army approaching, towards Hatkola Road. And they were only half a mile away from me. Not even half a mile, probably quarter mile away from me when I saw them. And all the military, seems like they're very tired.
Army means you are talking about Pakistani
Pakistani
army.
army, yes. Pakistani army people, a full truck with all kinds of weapons there. They're coming from Old Dhaka. Then I see, oh my goodness, then atrocities happened where we did not think it would happen. Something happened probably in Old Dhaka somewhere. So, and I was just stoned at that point. I was facing them. They're coming towards me. I don't know what to do. I cannot run. I cannot do anything. I looked around. There's nobody around me now. Probably a couple of people who were on the street on that day probably was smarter than me, or the reflexes were better. They already left. It's bare road on both sides of me, and I'm facing that truck approaching me. And I just stood like a frozen person, and I was looking at them. I didn't look down. I was straight looking at them, and I had a eye contact with a soldier when they're passing me, which probably about 12 feet away from me, were passing me. I had eye contact, and his eyes were very tired. Anyway, I stood there, for a moment until they go out of sight. I did out of instinct. I did not run. Survival instinct probably prompted me the right way. Said, did not see any movement from my side, no nervousness, just looking blankly. They just passed by. They're not interested in me. Then, as soon as they went out of my sight, something really shook me up. So, what happened? Oh my goodness, my life is just spared, or was hanging on a thread for a moment. There was nobody to do anything. If one of them took a gun and shot me down, I would be laying down there. I would be done. Then I turned my back. I ran like a Olympic, I say that, Olympic contestant, 100-meter race or something. I never ran so fast in my life. And then I went home, and then I was still breathing heavily and told my dad, and they were really very sorry that they let me go outside. And now, and I was so relieved. I said, look at this, how people, someone's life could be hanging right from a thread. And, something, the instinctual guidance probably saved me that day, the way I
See,
behaved.
it's very impossible to think that it was a
Yeah,
gimmick.
they spared me. I was alone as a young man, 18 years old. But, I think that was
Thanks to your lucky star.
my
Thanks to your lucky
body.
star.
Yeah, and that's my, but this is a story of good luck, actually. But that's not what night of March 25th or 26th looks like. The next day, I think it was 27th, we did not go out. It was 27th. Me and my two young brothers, we went out. And now didn't go to the main street, to a narrow street, went to in front of Ittefaq. Oh my God, what a scene
I
that
mean,
was.
the Itefaq, the daily news, which are very
Daily
popular.
newspaper, Ittefaq, the daily newspaper on 27th morning, we went there. Oh boy, everything is charred. People were standing there looking. There was a curfew break there the time we got out. And
You saw the burnt out building of the Itefaq.
Ittefaq,
Okay.
charred building.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, in those days, we didn't have cameras, handy to take pictures or whatever. But later on, we heard that some journalists were burnt alive there, charred. We were working there.
Amit, I recalling, those days. Those are obviously bad
Mhm.
for all communities of Bangladesh.
Right,
Your family belonging to the Hindu community,
right.
did you feel the urge to leave your place, like a place of residence, or your parents, like your father especially, did he feel the urgency? I think your father was working with a multinational company at the time.
Yes,
He
he
was
was
the general
working
manager of finance,
yes,
something of Philips Bangladesh,
yes,
Philips Pakistan probably.
Pakistan, yeah.
And what was the, basically, what was, basically he's thinking at the time, thinking back, what was he was thinking? I mean, I'm talking about your dad. Did
Yes, yes.
he think of leaving the place immediately, or some of the plans he had?
One thing he has said, when he heard late next day, he heard from people, and also that Sakari Bajata, there were atrocities there. A lot of people died. Thousands of people died on the first day of 25th March. Then he said one thing, Pakistani army is playing, is not trying to control the mob, or not trying to control the country. They are acting like occupational forces. And from his knowledge of history, he knew what occupational forces do. And he said, no, we need to leave, but how? How we go? But there came the help from a neighbor. One of our neighbor, uh, one of our neighbor,
Were they Muslim?
yeah, they're
Or
Muslim.
okay.
One of my next door neighbor, they thought of this. They came. They used to come to us many of the times, and there were, the lady of the household came and said, "I think you should not live here." So my dad said, "Yes, we know that, but where to go, how to go?" Then she says, "Well, we have my father-in-law built a new building on Gajaria Island, in Munshiganj division, and they have not moved there yet from their old house. That's sitting empty. There are 3 rooms there. If you would think you want to live there, you can go there." That was our first option and the best option and only option at the time. Anyway, so my dad says, "Yes, of course we can do that, but we don't want to live. We do not want to just live like that. We can pay rent on it." I say, "Yes, yes, no problem. You can pay rent to them." So, again, then that family is so kind. She does not only thought about us. There are 2 other Hindu families in the building, same building. He thought of them too.
I mean, who were living in Awadas Lane at the time?
In Avadas Lane, but this is our next door neighbor, another building. They have their own building. Our own landlord, we were renting at the time. Our landlord, he could not offer us anything. He was worried about. He's a good man. He was worried about us too, but he couldn't go any solution because he had no other probably place where they could move. He could move us. So they came voluntarily. We did not think about that. Also thought about them and told them that there are only 3 rooms. You have to go get together and squeeze. Well, to save lives, we'll do anything. So we all 3 families, they talked and finally wanted to go to Gajaria. That's where we went.
At the time, how many brothers and sisters were with your parents?
6 of us plus parents.
6 of us and your parents, 8.
The 8 people went to live in one room. Whatever.
Which day you started to go, and how did you go to Gajaria? By bus, by rickshaw, by car? How did you go there?
Okay, no. I think it is April 3rd. That's 3 or 4 days later. 3 or 4 days later, we decided to go. Believe it or not, my dad had that company car, and he had a very good, very sympathetic driver who was a Bihari. He taught me how to drive. So my dad requested the companies to allow him to take us to the Buriganga Ghat, and from there we can go by boat. And that Bihari driver, he came. I still remember his face.
It was the 3rd of April, I think.
3rd of April.
Okay. The Bihari driver was driving, and he was working with Philips.
He drove us to the Ghat, and even our neighbor escorted us, so they know how to get a boat and all these. So we got into a couple of boats, all 3 families. One of their representatives.
I'm asking a question in this regard, that you were driving in your company car, your father's company car, but what about the neighbors? They were
no, neighbors did not. Neighbors took, I don't know what, I forgot now. They had other cars. They have arranged some cars too. I don't remember.
But somehow you coordinated, or maybe all went at the same time.
I think 2 or 3 trips they gave. Something, I forgot the whole detail.
Yeah. Okay.
Either they had car or this guy gave a couple of trips. Something like that happened. So,
okay.
But I just, when the other Biharis are, killing Hindus and Bengalis, and this Bihari guy took us to the riverside, made sure we boarded in boat. Then when he was leaving, he was crying. He was wiping his.
It was the Buriganga riverside.
Buriganga riverside, yeah. At Sadarghat.
Sadarghat, right. Okay.
Then from there we went to Gajaria and were able to stay there, what, a month, peacefully maybe.
Uh,
Then came that,
you are staying at somebody's house? I mean, your relatives, or rented a place in Gajaria? What?
yeah, that's what I just said before. That neighbor, their family built a new home.
Okay, you took that. Okay, okay, you took shelter in that house. Okay.
They wanted to us to live there, so we rented that place and went there. And then we stayed there for about a month, apparently peacefully. But my dad was always worried because he said, no, these people are acting like occupational forces. They are not acting like, forces of the same country. So, and in that village, then, as you know, because of the transportational and all other, crisis in the town, a lot of goods were not going to the fish, these, that was not getting properly supplied to Dhaka, and those village communities were overwhelmed with the production. So everything was very cheap. Eggs we were buying like, what, I can remember, 10 or 20 for a dollar, I mean, rupee.
Important question in this case, Amit. That particular area of Gajaria, you said the island, it was not occupied by Pakistani army at the time. I mean, it was
No,
still
no.
free from Pak army.
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay, okay. Go ahead.
So we stayed there, but my dad, as I told you, he read the history, he read all the religions and all the other stuff. So his knowledge was overwhelming and he was not happy. Everybody was relaxing, eating, fresh fish from the river, swimming in the river. Aha, what a life. They became very relaxed. And they had a belief, most of the people, that these are Punjabi soldiers. They grew up in the desert environment and they don't know how to swim. My dad says, look, soldiers everywhere know everything. They can swim. Whether they're born or not, they're trained for these things. So don't tell me that they cannot swim. That's a wrong idea. And the way they're behaving will be hit someday. So you need to do something. But other two Hindu families were very less. Then my dad, on my own, he took my two twin brothers. Said, let me see if I can discover the way to go there. He took two of them, leaving me and others at home, two brothers, and he found the way to Agartala. He went to the Agartala, left them there with another.
I'm sorry, sir. Going back to that, your father physically took your two brothers
Two brothers.
to Agartala. How did he go to Agartala?
He found his way somehow. Through the boats, and I think he went out to see how we can safely move our family.
It was month of May.
It was month of April. Within
Still
2 weeks,
okay.
he was restless. My dad was restless. Everybody was relaxing there, but he was restless. His face was always worried. He had difficulty to sleep. He said, no, they will come over. They will hit everywhere. So that comfort of being surrounded by water did not comfort him at all. Anyway, so he went there. He left me in the village and took the two brothers, and he successfully crossed the border, went to Agartala. And in Agartala, there was a guy who, my dad was a teacher for him, years ago. So he took two brothers, gave them shelter there. And then...
Okay. He was your father's student, or...
Yeah, my father's student in Agartala College.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What is it? I forgot the name of the college. So he was a teacher there. So my dad knew that he's a teacher there. So he went and found him out after many, many years. And then he was glad to receive my two younger brothers. And later, they were transported to Calcutta to my aunts. Anyway, so he went there and dropped them off there and came back safely. Oh, it took it took a week.
Now it took a week, but now you are with your four siblings. Like two.
Yeah, four siblings.
Four siblings now with your parents.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So after that, my dad told the families they were staying there, I found the route. Let us leave now. That was like, mid-April, third week of April. And, the family said, no, it's a very dangerous path. We are fine here. Nobody can find us here. It's surrounded by water. Same. I said, look, you decide what you want to do, but I am living with my family. After you press that one, the other two families kind of give in on it. So unwillingly they gave in. So we rented two boats and started going, following the route he discovered, like to, I think, what is the name of the place? I forgot. Uh, Chandina, I think. That's what I remember. And so go to there, then go travel, walk, boat again, this kind of thing. Daud-Kandi, through Daud-Kandi, I remember. So everybody loaded in two boats and we got into Daud-Kandi. As soon as landed in Daud-Kandi, some of the people, where are you going? So, we had a guide with us, one of the family members, from that house. Because we are trying to find him a good place. And among them, some of them said, mullahs, looks like, have topis and all that. We don't know who these people are. All on a sudden, for some reason, one of our classmates, I think I see him there. Oh, when I see him.
I think you're talking about Alam Chand.
Alam Chand, right.
Who was our classmate.
Alam Chand, you remember? I saw him there. When I saw him there, I found, oh man, now I relieved. I said, what happened? I said, this. So Alam says, no problem. There's a problem on the road today, but you guys can stay in my home, tonight.
Amit, I'm sorry to interject now. A
Sure.
very important aspect of the episode. You told me several times that you were living, when you were leaving the island, then there was only one boat and Pakistan Army was coming through gunboat.
Oh, that's coming later. This is coming.
I'm sorry. It was later.
This is the first try, to escape.
Oh, so it didn't happen in Gajaria? No.
It happened in Gajaria, but just listen the rest of it, then you'll remember. So Alam Chand said, you can stay, if all families can stay. It's difficult. I have a small house, but you can, we'll escape tonight, tomorrow morning.
In Daud-Kandi.
Daud-Kandi. Tomorrow morning, we'll try to help you to move out of there. But my dad did not like it. Because he doesn't, I said, but when I said he's my classmate, he felt some more comfort. But the other two families then, so no. They're blaming my dad now. See, they used to call him Dada. Dada, see, we told you not to come out of the house. We are safe. Now we are in a trouble place. They're saying the trouble on the road and all this. No, we don't want to stay here. We want to go back. So my dad also gave in and they returned the boat and we came back and they felt other two families, we were on the deadly path.
You came back to Gajaria.
Came back to Gajaria and but again my dad was very uncomfortable. Guess what? Within 10 days, one early morning, I think May 4th, 5th, something like that. Early morning, 5 o'clock, we woke up with the sound of gun firing. Pretty much the kind we heard on night of 25th in our Dhaka house.
25th March.
Yeah, similar gun firing, loud gun firing. Then we all woke up. What happened? Then I see people started running. Say militaries and all this. Then my dad, oh my God, now where you go? We are in an island. So then what he gathered all of us, got his briefcase, that's it. He cannot take anything else. Got his briefcase and says, let us run away from the sound of the gunfire. Don't know where you go, but go on the opposite direction. You know what I'm talking about? So we started running and gunfire was getting a little bit less louder. So we know we're running in the right direction. Finally, we came, at the end of the village is what? Water, the river. Now we have nowhere to go. Now you had the jute field there, tall, the jute plants were
Plants, yeah,
all
yeah,
over the place.
yeah.
And we are standing right on the edge of the river.
Only
Now,
you
now
or
where you go? We all
were
three
you?
families.
I'm sorry to interject. Were you the only family, or there are other
No, all
people?
three families. Now they're following my dad.
Oh, okay.
Now
Okay.
they are following. They don't know what to do. Wherever my dad is going, we're going there behind us now. They realized that my dad was right. Anyway, so by the end, at the edge of the river, we are all three families standing. There are a couple other families too. So it seems like poor families. Uh, now what? Now I hear another sound on the horizon, on the riverside. The side we were actually on the another side of the village from where they originally landed, because we were running away from the gunfiring, sound of gunfiring. So we are kind of on the other side of the island. Then I hear another, sound. There were also, it's hard to see from the distance on the same side of the river we were standing on. I hear sound of a gunboat. Then I looked on the horizon. I saw in a small size. We cannot determine what it is. A boat is coming towards the side we were standing, and we were lining up and thinking that if we could cross the river, we would be safe. Then and that gunboat comes closer and closer. Now you can see their faces. Now you are clear that they is Pakistani army. Then what you do? There are long, plants, the jute plants there. So we have to hide under that. Then we also heard in the meantime that they are also going inside those fields and killing people. So well, that is the only chance we can take. Then I look on the other side of the right across it, there was a boat, empty boat was sitting there, no boatman or nobody. So, oh my God, if you could have this boat, if the when a boatman was around, you see us, we could call him, but he is not there. Then I'm looking and getting worried, at what point do we go inside those jute plant, bushes of jute plant. Some of the families already went in there, feeling that they will be safe. Now, then I was looking like left and right, looking to the boat, looking to this boat, and looking to the gunboat. All of a sudden, I see at one point that empty boat, somebody is riding it towards us. The boatman showed up from somewhere. He only saw people gathering. He started, crossing the river as fast as he could with all his muscle work. He kept, riding the boat towards us. Says, oh my God. Then we kind of waving him and all this, but he's quietly, professionally, and he was just trying to get the boat as fast as he could. When he reached the shore, you could clearly see those gunmen in the boat. And he said, he didn't say a word. He just waved his hand, everybody like this. All three of our Hindu family group were sitting there. He pointed to us. He never said a word. And we rushed in there. And after he filled the boat with all three families, he's already heavy loaded. He couldn't take any more. There are a couple others sitting there, the local ones. He pushed the boat out and started riding it, with all his strength. And very interestingly, it is hard to say, he had those towels we use in the village, very thin towels. He had his face wrapped with them towel. I couldn't even see his face. Then, keep running. And he, before we came into the firing range, he was able to park the boat on the other side. He was able to cross the river. And then we, all of a sudden, we jumped out of the boat and started running, to go through the further interior. My dad did not forget that he gave a service. Others are running for life. He opened his briefcase and gave him 100 rupees. And he did not take it, the boatman. He just pushed his hands out and ran away.
Oh.
And then we all oh my God, my dad was spellbound, but he could not have much time to spend
It's
there.
like
So
a
we all came.
guardian angel.
Guardian angel. This is second time my life is saved. It's unbelievable. And then we kept running for 2 hours before it stopped. Then the villagers stopped us. Well, you are far away from your. Where are you coming from? Yeah, we heard that your island has been hit, but you are far away from the. Now stop. The children are hungry. Probably let us get something together. So they cooked and all that. Gave us lunch.
Amit, going back to the village now,
Yeah.
you have anybody left from your side or anybody left there? And
Not. Yeah. From
after Pakistani
among the.
army came, what
Yeah.
happened to them?
Right.
If there were some.
Among the three families, one of the families has an older couple, their parents, older, and the father was disabled. He was a 6 foot tall disabled man, but his wife was in her 60s. She was strong. Because you cannot carry this 6 foot heavy man and run. So they said that we are staying. Whatever happened to us, you go and save your life. So they stayed there. So two of their son was also with us. The younger son says, I have to go back and see. I cannot. So we stayed in a village for a few hours, and he went back. He went back and came back in 4 hours. We have been waiting for him. And then he was crying. He said, they killed both of my parents. I just found a place, he dug their grave. We usually, cremate them, but there's no such thing to do. They gave him a shovel and a place to bury them, and he himself dug the grave and put them into the grave and left.
Did the Pakistani army kill all the occupants of the island, or randomly
I
they
don't know,
killed some?
few thousand probably.
Few thousand were wiped out.
Yeah,
So
maybe around.
when God forbid you were safe, but in case you stayed there, do you think you could have been you could survive?
Absolutely not. Look at this. It's a disabled man and an old lady. Is disabled man. They did not spare them. They went inside and killed them.
Unbelievable.
And I felt very sorry also for the head of the household of that family who gave us shelter. They killed him.
Head of the household of that building.
Of that Muslim family who gave us shelter.
Oh, he didn't move also. He didn't flee.
No, where did you go? They were under the belief that they're killing Hindus. And where he's going to run? I mean, he's a pious man. He's well respected in the area. A pious and a good man.
Oh,
And
so
they killed
sorry.
him.
So sorry.
That was
This
I
is
feel
the
very
saga.
sorry. But they had no business to get involved here, save us. And they saved us now. And their young men, they fled. The young men, they had children, sons who were young. They fled and hid in different places, so they could not kill them. But the old man was in his house. So he did not run away. He's a pious man. But he probably was pointed out by Rajakars or al-Badrs that this guy gave shelter to Hindus.
Finally, you went to again. You took the boat, and again you went to the other village.
Oh, that was it. When we started running, we continued to run and got local people's help to find out which way we should go, and we were guided properly. And we finally see how along the whole way, everybody helped. Everybody helped.
Muslims helped Hindus. Hindus helped Hindus. Hindus helped.
There was no Hindus to help us at that time. It's all Muslim.
Oh.
Who were the Hindu? We didn't find any Hindu on the way. They probably, a lot of them already left probably. The villagers who fed us, cooked for, they're all Muslims. There's no Hindus there.
Then what happened? I mean, how many months you were in that area in the village when
we were running? No, we did not stop. After crossing the river by the boat.
Yeah.
We did not stop. We kept running. It took us 2 days to get to India.
Oh,
and
how did
in
you go to
the
India?
meantime,
Yeah.
the local villagers gave us shelters.
So, and basically, you are again. You took the route to Daudkandi or through.
Well, I was a different route. I don't know. We have to ask people. They kept showing the place ways to go, and they're feeling very sorry for the little. Like my little sister was only what 5 years old, and she could not walk anymore. And she was getting, oh, they're feeling sorry. Then at some point, I lifted her on my shoulder and walked.
So
Then I could not do anymore. Then I put it down again.
now, in the meantime, when you were walking through the villages, you probably stayed overnight in somebody's house.
We stayed one night overnight.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of we lived in a student's hostel. There was nobody there.
So how could you feed yourself, basically?
In that night, well, in the daytime, there was not any problem. The local villagers stopping us. So look at these kids. They are all tired and hungry. Stay here for an hour. We are cooking something for them. Also, they gave us snacks on the way. If nothing else, the villagers always had muri. They had gur. They always had that always ready. If nothing else, we could not stay. They were handing this to us.
So you are basically, did you go through Brahmanbaria like Agartala or no? Like through
which border I crossed? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's very difficult now.
So anyway,
Benapol maybe. I forgot.
But you did not take any transportation like rickshaw or even horse.
We are walking to the villages.
What do you call it? Cow-driven cart or something.
At one point we had to take a boat.
Okay.
Some distance we went by boat, but rest of them on foot. That was how are you going to go?
So you finally landed in the border like Benapol or anything far from Kolkata or Calcutta.
Far from Calcutta.
And how did you go to Calcutta finally?
Well, from there, we stayed in a hotel that night. One hotel all came together.
Inside India.
Inside India. That night we went before dark. We entered there. In this point, I want to mention also a reception. When we entered Agartala, we were so tired. We entered in a Hindu village, right? Entered in a Hindu village.
Hindu village in East Pakistan or East Pakistan or India?
No, in Indian side. When we entered, it was a late afternoon. We were all tired, walking, miles. So we found a Hindu home right outside the border. So we sat on their, what do you call? It's just a mud house, clay house. So they have, verandas or whatever. We just sat on that to relaxing. So for about half an hour, they didn't say anything, nobody. But then they said, oh, now we have to give up. It's a time for our puja and all this. You guys have to leave. We were thundered. It was a wide contrast of the way we were treated by the Muslims all the way. And the first encounter with the Hindus across the border was very pathetic. Anyway, so then okay, let us, a few more minutes, let us say, and we had, from the people on the way gave us muri and all this. Let us eat something, we'll go, we'll find rickshaw. And then we'll go to Agartala, we'll find something. Few minutes later, again push. Then my dad goes, do you know something? We walked miles after miles after miles in Bangladesh. And all these Muslim communities fed us, gave us shelter to live. And we walked in here and you are treating us like this. So he said that.
Strange contrast.
A strange contrast. I always want to mention this. But later in the Calcutta, it's a different story. They were giving us so much cooperation everywhere. Anyway, then we rented a couple of rickshaws probably, and went to a hotel, stayed there. Next day, I think we rented a taxi probably, I remember, to go to Agartala. Agartala is also miles from there. Then we went to Agartala, actually. That's what I'm saying. It's not, we did not land in the Calcutta side. We landed somewhere else. We crossed the border somewhere else, which was closer to Agartala.
But you took bus or something to go to Calcutta, right?
Bus or taxi no, we took bus. We went to Agartala first, to my dad's former student. We went to Maharaja Bir Bikram or something college. We went to his residence first. We stayed there for a week or so. Then we flew from Agartala to Calcutta.
In Agartala, your twin brothers joined you also.
They already left. Before I went there, they already left for Calcutta. They went to Calcutta.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I joined them later. We joined them later. What a scenario.
You know that many people belonging to the other camp, like a pro-Pakistani camp, they say whoever went to Calcutta had a very nice life and enjoying. You were there almost until the end of Bangladesh. Beginning almost until 16 December, probably,
Yeah.
1971. So what was your life in Calcutta or Kolkata now? What do you say? Calcutta. What was your
Calcutta.
life? Your father was not working, or you were staying at some relative's house, or how?
I was living in my aunt's house, aunt's apartment at that time. They didn't have a house. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, and see how many people were staying.
You were eight members.
My sister was still in. One of the sisters was my oldest sister. She was in. Did not join us then. She joined us in June. She was in Chittagong. Anyway, so yes, think about this: 7 and 2, 9, plus my aunt's husband, and they had a little boy. How many people there in 2-bedroom apartment? But they tolerated all this. We didn't mind at all. They tolerated all these things for 9 months. My dad at one point wanted to go, and he was given some project work by Philips India in Calcutta. The Calcutta is a place of politics. From Philips Holland, they instructed the Calcutta Philips to find him a position there. May not be general finance, but at least assistant manager of finance or something. But they didn't give him any job. He said, politics is so high there. They gave him some, piecemeal work. So he was doing those and getting paid, those kind of things. Then at one point he wanted to rent an apartment, but my aunt refused. Well, no, what do you mean apartment? There'll be a lot of money there to rent an apartment. But you are having so many people here. Your life is no, you are fine. So 9 months they sheltered us like that. What is my life is? I didn't know. I was depressed actually the whole time.
Did you listen to Shadin Bangla Betar?
Oh yes, you all listen to Shadin
Was it really uplifting for you?
Yeah, the songs, yeah, all this uplifting, very uplifting. So that, but I had there was close to us. There was the Bangladesh. What do you call? There's a governmental office there. Shramik League. Open that one. The Shramik League. Their leader was then Mannan. Mannan's younger brother was my childhood friend. In old Dhaka.
Okay.
So I used to go to pass time sitting in his office sometimes. After his office, we sometimes saw some old movies, this kind of thing.
What was your experience when Bangladesh got liberated on the 16th December? You were still in Calcutta.
I was in Calcutta.
What was your experience then?
I was expecting the fall. The first time this was interesting. I did not hear on the radio the Bangladesh liberated because I was probably sleeping at the time. I don't know what time that happened. Then in the morning, sometimes I go out. We had the habit of smoking at the time. So I said, let me go take a walk. So I went down early in the morning, mid-morning. And then I went to that little, shop that used to sell cigarettes and pan and all this. A shop owned by a Bihari. So a lot of times, you're from Bangladesh. He was friendly with me because I could speak a little bit of Urdu. So he was speaking Urdu. So Pakistan ko tod diya. He used to argue. He didn't know what religion I belong to. He didn't ask me. I didn't ask me. So I was like, क्या तोड़ दिया भाई देखो कितना आदमी मर रहे हैं so after that when he heard about all the genocide going on he didn't say much. So I went there uh, and bought a cigarette.
On 16th December.
It was liberated. Then from his radio, I was hearing Vijay Nishan Urche Oi Banglar Gare Gare. From his radio.
It was radio? Who was saying that?
It was on Sadin Bangla Betar. This
I
Bihari guy, he used to listen to Hindi songs and all that. From his radio was coming out that song.
Oh, I see.
Vijay Nishan Urche Oi.
I see.
It was such a. I said, why you're आप लोग बांग्ला स्टेशन सुन रहे हो जी हाँ आपको बांग्लादेश तो स्वाधीन हो गया अरे क्या बात है
Amit,
what an experience that is.
That is an incredible story you told. And you know that reminiscing those days of 1971, many of the younger generation don't know. Unfortunately, in the Western world, many Bangladesh born people of children of the Bangladesh heritage, they don't understand Bangla properly. So your oral history, I hope, will be a gem.
Well, I'm interrupting you. My history is that of a good one. It's a lucky one. It's a lucky one.
Now, I understand.
But, you know, there's so much documented incidents of, like in that train station, for example, when in Khulna, I forgot the name of the station. Like people were gathered to go to India, and about, I think, about 8,000 to 10,000 people got killed. And then I hear that pile of the body, I read it about this, pile of the body was so much, there was a flood of blood everywhere. So that's only one. Many other incidents.
Unfortunately, if you look into Armenian, episodes of Armenian genocide or Jewish Holocaust, we know hundreds of thousands of oral histories are documented, recorded.
Yes.
In Bangladesh's case, it was not so, unfortunately. It happened, and obviously political changes after 1975. The pro-Pakistani regime took part and they ruled for 21 days. Many of the historical documents were destroyed. And now, sadly, Bangladesh is under the occupation of pro-Pakistani people. And, Pakistani regime of 1971 did not change. They did not apologize. Even current regime is, I think, almost like the successor of, you can say, Yahya regime. They could say, we disconnect with the past, like the Germans are doing. For example, the present German government don't say that we are basically carrying the torch of Hitler or Nazis, but apparently Pakistani regime till now is basically carrying the baton of Yahya. That is the unfortunate thing. And what's happening now, Bangladesh under Dr. Yunus is a very, very dismal scene we are seeing. Exactly. Bangladesh is no more Bangladesh. It is almost like East Pakistan. Amit, it's a very unfortunate situation. Younger generation do not know the magnitude of the brutality of Pakistani army. And your oral history, I hope, will be another addition to the, what we call it, untold history of Bangladesh genocide. We need more such oral history. And obviously, we have to free Bangladesh from the Pakistani urchins, whoever is now, in the upper echelon of Bangladesh government. Do you have any comment?
Well, the comment that you talk about the current generation, why they are not realizing what happened that day. I think that's, 1975 change was one of the main factor, and then it took 20-some years for Awami League to come back. But after Awami League came back, what they have done? Bangabandhu is an immortal man in our hearts and minds and everything. I used to criticize some of his policies right after, uh, our victory. But after he became a Shaheed, his whole family has been murdered. And I put him on the exempt category. I don't criticize him anymore. There's nothing to criticize. He went above everything. He gave his life for this. So he's done. But what our league has done, glorified him excessively, like a prophetic type situation. What they should have done, more and more of telling these stories, making films about them, which the Jewish community does about
You are
Holocaust.
talking about the atrocities of Pakistan, by
Right,
Pakistan, and the
atrocities of
genocide in
Pakistan.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, that has not been brought into the front. In words they say it, but they did not bring it out visually. One visual communication could be making film. Think of Bangladeshi films. They all bypassed the real atrocities. They kind of indicated this taking place. Bangladesh needed a Schindler's List.
Movie.
That kind of, instead of Sheikh Mujib, great movie for 80 crores, they needed that more than that. You see?
Good point. It's nice talking to you, Mr.
Yeah.
Amit Roy, my classmate, my buddy from Florida, the Sunshine State.
Yes.
And it's an honor to, take to our platform the voice. And your voice definitely will raise the consciousness of the spirit of liberation. Many of us kind of a sort of forgetting the painful past of the emancipation of the country. The country did not come easily. There were blood, sacrifice, tears of the millions. And thank you again, Amit, for coming to our platform.
I have a
and
request
sharing your
before you
story.
finish. I have a request to you before you finish. Bring people in your shows in future who will tell you the really gruesome stories of their families or friends who they've witnessed. As I said, my experience is horrible, horrific, but I've been the lucky one, being of those people who are not that lucky. That will create more impact and make the new generation realize what actually happened.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Done.